Deadpool and Deadpool 2, All or Nothing. My score, simple. Deadpool, 5 out of 5 stars. Deadpool 2, 6 out of 5 stars. Thought that thing was spectacular. Josiah?
Love and love. Love both movies. Did that.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Say two in a row.
I was gonna say you don't give that often.
No, not in the slightest. But for these two movies,
that's awesome.
I'll go into more depth about why they both love.
Right? Yeah. After the ad reading, the open rolls, we'll break down all of our in-depth opinions about the franchise. But Brandon, Deadpool 2, what are your feelings?
5 and 5.
5 and 5, yeah. See, and that's the thing is like literally none of these are bad scores. I was just surprised by how vast yours was.
I
but
like say it's the highest the high for this channel.
Yes, after the ad read and after the open rolls, we'll break down all of our thoughts on Deadpool and Deadpool 2. Whether it's your first time here or you're a regular here at Mr. Super Oz, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the channel. It exists because I, Oz, from the channel Mr. Super Oz, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. Volume 1 is called All Day Long. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself hats, shirts, posters, all kinds of fun things. But most importantly, you can get the story itself. And the more people that pick up the story, the greater the chances are that there can be continued adventures with these heroes. If you could, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, enjoy. So obviously, the reason we're doing this All or Nothing is because Deadpool and Wolverine is in theaters.
That's right.
But more importantly, 1/3 of this trio, Deadpool is their favorite character.
That's me. I'm a big fan.
Which, is clear when you say love and love, because while I enjoyed both movies thoroughly, I just couldn't even wrap my mind around the concept, because when I think of love, I think of this
visceral, guttural reaction.
Well, so for instance, Pure Country. I love that movie because of how it reminds me of spending time with my mother.
That's beautiful.
And Fanboys, I love that movie because of it's not the Star Wars-ness of it all, but the camaraderie, the there for your friend, even when you're not as close as you once were. You have that connection, and so it just makes me, because let's be real, I really enjoy spending time with you guys, and plenty of other friends too. And it just gives you that warm and fuzzy. But I was blown away, and so I need you to lay it out for me, my good man.
Got it. So to explain why both of these movies are love for me, I got to go back to, unfortunately, X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, as we discussed in previous videos, and I've probably brought up occasionally throughout the lifespan of this channel, while I thought that movie as a whole wasn't that bad, the use of Wade Wilson as a character infuriated me to no end. Hated it with a burning passion. Ryan Reynolds' scenes where he was Wade Wilson and he was talking trash, beautiful. Could not have been done better. And then they sewed his mouth shut, which was the worst thing you could do for a character that's literal nickname is the Merc with the mouth. So, needless to say, longest time, hated that. Got to high school, right? And literally one of the first friendships I made in high school that wasn't based on anything, it was just based on our mutual love of comic books and love of comic book characters, was over Deadpool, over just the character itself. I was avid fan of Deadpool for a long time, and like he was an avid fan of just Superman. And I was like, okay, well, I'm a kind of a Batman guy, but I respect that you like Superman.
Hey, they're boys, so you know. It's
Hey, world's finest. That's all. That's all we gotta say.
Yes.
But we had the same opinion on. Oh God, that movie effed over our boys so bad.
Yes.
And so when we got the announcement in 2015, 2016, like, oh my God, Deadpool's getting a movie, and it's gonna be a real movie. Like Ryan Reynolds is gonna do it. That's the perfect casting. I can't think of anyone else on the planet who's gonna be a better Deadpool. And then like we went through the terror of, oh my God, they're gonna make it a PG-13 movie. Oh, they're gonna ruin it. The first trailer comes out, it's PG-13. It's funny as hell, but it's like, it's not the same as if it were rated R.
Mm-hmm.
Then the rated R trailer came out. I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. This is it. They just need to do this for a whole movie. And then they did.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the movie was so beautiful. It was so great.
So, I don't mean.
Yeah, no, please.
Okay, perfect. So,
because I'll go on and on.
Yeah, you talking about the friendship element of it all actually reminds me of our friendship.
Yeah.
So, a friend that we all know, his name is Vince. So now you guys know who I'm talking about.
I'm about to say.
He said, oh, when did you become friends with Josiah? I was like, oh, the day he started here.
Yeah.
He's like, huh? And I was like, oh, me and Ahmed were talking. He just jumped in and we never stopped being friends since.
I'm about to say, it's been going on ever since.
And so, yeah, exactly. I was just, I agree that is awesome when you can connect, and I think that's one of the reasons why I still have great affection for All Elite Wrestling, because that's it's a thing that connects you and I, but others too, obviously. But
it was one of the first things like we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It was just
like, it was like, oh my God, you watch AEW too? Oh, so do I.
And yeah, so it's easier to understand your connection to the character and the good product that was put out for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think I would have loved this movie even if it was trash. Because like me and this friend, so we're still best friends to this day. Like we're still tight. Like we went and saw both Deadpool movies together when they first came out. Like this movie will be the first time like we go, and like we're gonna be watching it individually because he's in a different area.
Gotcha.
So we can't watch it together. But literally, like when Deadpool came out, we were right there in the theaters watching. I watched Deadpool like I want to say close to 7 or 8 times in the theaters.
Wow.
Like
man,
when it first came out, I think like most of his box office was me and my friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
quite easy.
There's one MCU movie that I watched 5 times in theaters.
Wow.
Want to guess what it is?
Winter Soldier?
Yes!
Yeah, that was my guess.
It was the Winter Soldier. And so, that's awesome. I can't believe you just instantly.
It's arguably, well, one, me and you both agree.
It's
the best Marvel
I think
movie.
I think it's the best one they've done.
Valid. Can't disagree. But yeah, so me and my friend. So my love for this movie is based for a variety of different reasons, but my love of the character, obviously, the friendship that I made because of the movies. Ryan Reynolds, I really love Ryan Reynolds. So everything was just hitting on all cylinders for me, and then they cast Zazie Beetz and Deadpool 2, and I had a massive crush on her at the time, because everybody has a celebrity crush.
I don't think I knew her before Domino.
I did because of Atlanta.
Same.
I hadn't watched Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, can't watch everything.
Sure.
Only so much time.
That's true. Yeah. We were talking about that off camera.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But
and that's another thing. Like it just never stops.
Yeah, I'm about to say the content's always going.
I mean, in the case of the channel, 5 days a week.
5
sometimes
days a week,
6.
baby.
Sometimes 6.
So we do it all. But yeah, that's the reason for my love. Absolutely love these films. I wouldn't change them for anything.
Like legit, I have such affection for Nora. I know it's not her name, but Vanessa.
Yeah.
I always call her Nora. But anyway.
I mean, you can call her Copycat too, but that's variety.
But I have such affection for her character, but it put it over the top in the second film when I'm not going to say spoiler because my goodness, but
it's been a while.
But it has been a while. If you haven't seen it while you're watching this video, but when her character passes and her being separated from Wade facilitates him growing as a person, it was so
poignant.
well, I'll say spectacular, which is why I gave it a 6 out of 5
Good
stars.
phrase,
And I think moreover, the reason I enjoyed the second one more than the first is, to me, it is an example of taking an idea from a comic and then improving it. Because in the comics, Wade Wilson is infatuated with Lady Death, so much so that it creates a rivalry with Thanos. And in both cases, I think that's mildly ridiculous, to be into Skullhead Lady.
Yeah, but whereas weird.
Sure, but whereas you're into Honora, I'm like, all right, no questions asked.
I'm about to say, you look at that one, you're like, yeah,
I'm with it.
I'm right there with you.
And so, because I think it was you and I that had talked about this, I thought Thanos' change in motivation was also better than I'm trying to impress Skullhead Lady.
Yeah.
And so I like it when things get better.
I agree. It definitely gave both Thanos and Deadpool gave more depth to their characters.
Yes.
Than just like instead of chasing after something I'll never get, like these are like reasonable, attainable goals.
Absolutely.
That I think we as people can relate to.
Yes.
Especially because if you think about it, most people like to avoid death like the plague because it typically is the plague.
Yes.
So, but yeah, Brandon, what's your thoughts on the movies?
I like it because it's one of the very few comic book movies that talk about a heavy subject and how you should go about it. Because the other franchise is Guardians, and it's how do you deal with tragedy, and you can either let it consume you or you can laugh at it and move forward. And I think Deadpool does that very well. I mean, in Deadpool 1, like, he gets tortured.
Oh, literally tortured.
And then when you really think about the stuff that he had to go through in the pursuit to get over, it's not even a spoiler, cancer that he had.
Yeah. He just had it in his brain, lugs, prostate, all things you can live without.
Yes. And the love that he had for her, that he was going to go through this, and I loved the scene when, he thought that she was going to leave him. Like, and she was like, okay, this is what we need to do. And he was like, oh, she actually genuinely cares about me. And that's like the first time you could see in his face, like, someone actually cares about me finally. And it's like, wow, that's really touching. I mean, a lot of times people think of Deadpool like, oh, he's just a joke. But it's like, no, he's actually a really tragic character.
Oh, he's the most tragic character in the world.
Yeah, but it's how he decides to deal with his tragedy is always what I liked about Deadpool. And even in the second one, what Cable goes through, you're like, oh, that's horrifying.
Oh,
that's
terrible. I'm about to say, if I saw that, I'd probably shut down.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be able to cope.
But meeting Deadpool, he's able to get over that lust, that blood,
that bloodlust, that tragedy.
Right.
That
and
I gotta kill this child.
Yes. And it's like, wow, that's really touching in a way.
Absolutely.
A lot of superhero movies, comic book movies, arguably probably besides like Batman right now, that has really something like thought provoking, but does it in a unique
tells it in a unique format.
Instead of like Marvel jokes, it's like, hey, you really shouldn't be cracking jokes right now. But in Deadpool, it makes sense.
Yes.
Because the tension is so high, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna laugh at it instead of
be broken by it.
Be broken by it.
I'm really glad that we did this.
Yeah.
Like, it was always the plan, because the minute they announced Deadpool 3, I was like, all right, here's what we're doing. But yeah, I had such a good time rewatching these.
Me too.
And it just it reminds me how much I like Ryan Reynolds, because I saw this funny post that said that a teacher told him he was so bad at acting he should do something else, and they were like, well, you should be like Ryan Reynolds and just not give up. And I was like, hey, that's what's up, because I think that he's done a lot of great work. I love Free Guy.
Me too. I'm actually a big fan of that movie myself.
Chaos Theory is one of my all-time favorite I don't know if it's Ryan Reynolds movies or just movies, period, because I just think that thing hits.
Yeah, it's a well done.
There's a movie where he's literally buried alive and he has to figure out like who did it and how to escape. That's really good.
Yeah, good movie.
And it's just basically really just him stuck in a box.
Oh,
And,
okay, I've not seen this one.
yeah, it's.
Did you guys see?
terrifying, but-
I think it's a Netflix film. The is it the Adam Project? Is that
Oh,
what
it is what it's called.
Yeah.
I have it sitting on my watch list, just haven't made time for it yet. It looks like everything I like in a movie.
Yeah.
Fun, time travel, space, talking to yourself. I was like,
it's so funny because this child plays the perfect child version of Ryan Reynolds.
oh, that's good.
Like, let me know when you watch it and like if you want to review it because I would love to watch it again and review
Oh,
it.
sweet, yeah. Like I said, I'm always down for Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, any Ryan Reynolds movie, give it to, as long as it's not Green Lantern, I'm in.
Actually, I do plan on watching Green Lantern for the channel. You don't have to come, obviously.
Okay, cool.
But, so Brandon and I had a video about it, how it and Doctor Strange are very similar. It actually, if you've never watched it, go back and watch.
Oh yeah,
Green
Doctor.
It was Strange Green. Oh crap! What was it?
Something. Yeah, it was Strange Green.
It'll be popped up on the screen right now.
Absolutely, but anyway, my point is, I think that movie, while bad, don't get me wrong, it's.
I'm not under no illusions that it was a good movie.
I think that you make a couple of different decisions, and it's far superior.
Right.
But
because Doctor Strange in that movie, if you watch
them,
they are similar. Like very.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch both of them again. I haven't watched.
It's eerie.
Yeah, I haven't watched Green Lantern literally probably since it came out. It's been a long ass time.
Okay.
It's funny. I think that I've probably watched that movie 3 times.
Yeah. I watched
So the year it came out, then every few years. Here's what I'll call it. So Green Lantern the movie is like Long John Silver's the restaurant.
Okay.
So it takes me a few years, like between 5 to
couple trips to the toilet, but
well, what I mean is I forget, right? I'm like, you know what? I haven't had Long John Silver's in a while. I wonder why. And I go and I'm like,
oh, that's why.
Turns out that's why.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so the same thing with Green. You're like, why do I know?
Hey, why do I stop eating there? Yeah, that's me with KFC. I'm like, man, I really love KFC, and then I go there, eat there. I'm like, oh, that's why I don't eat here anymore.
Not you.
I will say, I have not had that problem with KFC because there's so many other options, whether it be a Chick-fil-A or a Popeyes.
There is a lot of versions of chicken places.
Absolutely.
But for some reason, I always want the finger looking good, 11 herbs and spices. Some is different. I get the mood for it.
I think it's advertising.
That's
exactly that food in the commercial.
Sure.
Oh,
the food in the commercial looks like a completely different thing.
Yeah. This looks like the best meal they had.
It's like when you watch a McDonald's commercial and then go to get McDonald's food and realize, this isn't the same thing, is it?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, I'm sure everybody knows at this point that I went to college to video and audio production.
Yeah.
Well, one of our classes, we were going over what are the things that are actually in commercials. So, do you know what ice cream is?
Don't.
Mashed potatoes.
That is great.
Because it won't melt, right?
Yeah, because it doesn't melt under those hot ass lights.
Yeah, and they're.
I know with burgers, I know they put cardboard in between each ingredient.
Exactly.
So it looks like
filling.
Yeah. Yep, I knew that one.
Yeah. So anyway, my point just was
mashed potatoes.
Yeah, it's just fun, the idea of being behind the curtain.
Oh, yeah.
Filming it also.
They're filming it all right, get that angle.
Suckers.
All right, go ahead, drip that chocolate syrup on those mashed potatoes, baby. That makes so much sense though.
But yeah, everybody, we're gonna keep talking about fun and crazy things. But if you haven't watched Deadpool and Deadpool 2 in a while, you should watch it before you go and watch Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Happy to be here.
Oh man.
Take care, guys.